For weeks now, Satoshi has worked 20-hour days and doesn't seem to be going to stop. All of this is being done with the crazy goal of Shiba Inu becoming one of the biggest digital assets. We finally got some crazy news from him today. A huge number of tokens are moving, and this is just the start. But what is really going on? How much money can we make from it? Okay, let me explain. Welcome to Dr. Crypto, your daily serving of Shiba. This is the spot for you if you're curious about anything related to Shiba. If you want to keep informed about all the latest news forecasts and stay ahead of the crypto industry, subscribe. To get more Shib news, be sure to click the like button. Shiba Inu prices have mostly recovered from the market collapse 2 days ago, but there's still something fishy going on below the surface. Data from Into the Block shows a sharp rise in activity among people who own a lot of tokens. It's crazy to think that these whales have recently taken out 7.48 trillion Shiba Inu. That's a big difference from the day before, when only 1 trillion was sent out. More than 700% is a huge jump. Even scarier is the fact that the cost of Shiba Inu hasn't dropped, despite all of these people leaving the market. It's still green. When this happens, especially when it comes from big buyers, it usually means that the price is going to go down. You might think the market would act in this way, but it's not. There must be more going on behind the curtain if there's this kind of gap. It makes you wonder what's keeping the cost steady. Was it possible to trick them, help that's hidden, or is it just the quiet before a much bigger storm? No matter what it is, this is not a normal situation. But things have become pretty interesting lately. This is a strange situation for the cryptocurrency sector because big players who generally have an effect on the market via Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs aren't doing anything. There isn't much going on in the crypto market. Because there isn't any pressure from outside sources, coins like Shiba Inu have more room to move. We can see this change if we glance at Shiba Inu's price chart being used. After briefly falling to $11, the coin recently found solid support at around $12. From that local bottom, the cost went up 6.5%, then fell by 3% and is now at its current level. This movement is a great example of a good adjustment, which is crucial for getting ready for another move up. What we're experiencing with Shiba Inu might have something to do with Thanksgiving. Since standard financial markets are closed, the crypto market has less monitoring and outside forces that can affect it. This leaves a space where the big players usually involved with Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs aren't. If whales are carrying Shiba Inu, this might seem like the best time to act without anyone getting in the way. Think about it. It makes sense for a whale to move a lot of Shiba Inu on a day like Thanksgiving and not any other day. Since the market isn't under as much stress as normal, it may be easier to hide these moves or keep them from making people worry. But the huge amount of money being sold today, $7.48 trillion, Shiba Inu raises a lot of questions. Are these whales just making money, or do they understand something that the other people in the market don't? Even stranger is the fact that the cost hasn't dropped despite all the selling. It's staying the same and sometimes even going up. Maybe people who own Shiba Inu or smaller sellers are coming in to buy up the stock. This could also mean that the whales are selling in small amounts to keep the cost fixed while they quietly cash out. In any case, the lack of activity around Thanksgiving may have given these big players a rare chance to act without the normal market forces getting in the way. Keep a close eye on this situation because it could mean that something much bigger is happening below the surface. There is one thing that is clear, though. This isn't a joke, and Bitcoin ETFs are having a big impact on the crypto market right now. The altcoin rise that was supposed to happen has been pushed back, which could be why a few whales are moving. A new tweet, on the other hand, gives an interesting view of what's going on. The post makes the case that the person leading the current Bitcoin rise is quite distinct from those who led earlier ones. Now it's mostly professional players and people who buy Bitcoin spot ETFs, not normal people who trade Bitcoin. Everyday people use crypto platforms, but these investors don't. This makes it tougher for money to move from Bitcoin to altcoins. The altcoin market can't grow without this flow. On top of that, the post says that smaller altcoins still depend on regular people on markets to buy them. Some new money needs to come into markets for altcoins to hit new highs. This isn't happening very often right now. Institutions may put cash into major altcoins in the future, but smaller ones are still waiting for normal crypto users to become interested in them again. What this means is that the digital currency sector is changing. Bitcoin is growing in different ways, now have a stronger connection to ETFs and businesses than individual trades. Altcoins might need to stop depending on Bitcoin's popularity and find new ways to get investors' money directly if they want to do well. And this is the exact approach that the Shiba Inu research team is using these days. Today, Satoshi Kusama shared an interesting picture that was made by AI that is getting a lot of attention. On a painting in an office, the picture displays a dramatic, almost end-of-the-world scene. Everything is a mess, and the person at their desk is in the middle of it all. To connect this to his own goal, Satoshi used it as a metaphor for the problems they're having. He wrote that he was trying to give a joke coin real use, and that his goal was to get Shiba Inu from the top 20 to the top 5 in less than 5 years, even though he didn't have a lot of money. In addition, Satoshi talked about his daily life and said that he performs 20-hour days for weeks at a moment, taking care of everything, from posting on social media to interacting with the Shiba Inu group. Lucy, another member of the crew, added her own opinions and said that it's hard to find real hard work in a place where everyone is looking for easy money. She said that even if it's only 100 people, we should build a small supporting group that values being real. This strategy seems perfect for the way the market is right now. Shiba Inu's crew is doing just what they need to do to stand out. Now that altcoin season has been pushed back and cash flows differently than it did before. They're not depending on old habits. Instead, they're focused on making things useful, making their group stronger, and ignoring the chaos with pure resolve. At a time when many endeavors are just waiting for the marketplace to pick up, Shiba Inu's team is working hard to make their own progress. That's not only the right thing to do, it's also the sort of forward-thinking plan that can help them do well, even when things are tough. Getting to a $50 billion daily trade rate is Shiba Inu's next big goal, which has been talked about a lot after all these changes. If this occurs, it could allow Shiba Inu to reach heights never seen before. One expert says that a lot of trades aren't enough to make prices go up on their own. It depends on how many people are buying and selling. If most of the action is buying, growth could go through the roof. But if people in the market aren't optimistic, even a lot of trading might not have the effect we want. Let's look at what we know about the past. When the Shiba Inu price went through an amazing rise to its record high in October 2021, trade volume went over $30 billion. Shiba Inu's price went to heights no one thought possible because of the sudden increase in demand. There is a clear pattern to these times. When trade gets busy and there is more demand than supply, prices go up. The $50 billion goal, on the other hand, is a very different problem. Shiba Inu's output is only a small part of that right now. For us to reach such a huge number, we'd need both individual investors and big investors to get involved. This is where growing market mood and liquidity become very important. The buying pressure could grow very quickly if people get more excited and Shiba Inu's ongoing coin burn programs start to work. This would turn this goal into a reality. When the stars are in the right place, it seems more likely that Shiba Inu will hit resistance levels like 4.5 or even aim for the stars at 3.15. This actually takes away zeros from Shiba Inu's present price, but Satoshi Kusama isn't putting in any real work. It's a big goal, but it could change the role of Shiba Inu in the crypto industry. There is more to this than just numbers. That's what it's about. Whether Shiba Inu can make people go crazy like they have before and make it even bigger. Even though there has been a lot of trouble, the crypto community is still very optimistic about the whole market, not just Shiba Inu. In their post, they talk about Bitcoin's recent drop from $105,000, which strangely hasn't made people feel bad. Instead, it's making people feel more at ease with the idea of Bitcoin going over $110,000. The user thinks there will be a few more days of stability before the rise starts, which means the end of the year will be strong. People get excited when they hear this kind of hope because it shows that the market as a whole is picking up speed. But what do you think about this? Leave a comment below. The day is over now. Remember to give it a big thumbs up. To see our most recent material, share it and subscribe to the channel.